Welcome to the MobiusFlow EnOcean device setup guide. The aim of this demo is to introduce the MobiusFlow interface, a basic understanding of the system, how to connect an EnOcean device, and then create a basic dashboard to show device state and outputs within the IBM Bluemix account. Firstly, plug in and power up a Mobius modem or server, making sure it is pre-configured with MobiusFlow and connected to the network you are going to be working off. Next, open up a Google Chrome browser and type in the IP address that you've been given. In this instance, it's 192.168.1.37 and press enter. If this is your first visit to MobiusFlow, you'll be asked to set a username and password. You'll need to make a note of this, otherwise you won't be able to get back in. Mine has already been set, so I'm going to add that. And click on Login. The first page you'll see is the Configuration tab, and this lists all the services and objects that are available to you. Now we need to connect a Node-RED connector, and this will connect MobiusFlow to Node-RED. You'll need to add the host name, and in this instance it's going to be localhost, a port number, and this is 1890, and you want to set a security key. Now this can be anything you want, and for this example we're going to call it Node-RED secret, and using hyphens between each one. We then need to click Run at Start and click on Save Changes. The next thing we need to do is drag in an EnOcean driver. The only thing we need to change here is Run at Start and select the integrated EnOcean interface. And again, click Save Changes. We then need to drag in the EnOcean device services. And again, click Run at Start and click Save. What we can now do is drag in the individual EnOcean switch. Now the one we're going to be using today is this one here. And just drag that one to the EnOcean devices service. Give it a description, and we're going to call this Kitchen Main Switch. Give it a location. Now what we also need to do is find the unique ID. Now this is normally written on the device. If you can't find it, we can come back to that and find it in the Diagnostics tab later on in this demo. Now I've entered mine here. Now click on Save. We now need to go to the Diagnostics tab, and we need to start all of the services, and we do that by clicking here. You can then see the service status in this column, and then you can view the individual objects. Now if you struggle to find the unique ID of the EnOcean device, you can find that here. Next, we need to go to the Flows tab, and you'll see that this is Node-RED embedded within MobiusFlow. What we then need to do is scroll down through all of these nodes that are available from the Node-RED library, and we've got some here that have been created and loaded onto the MobiusFlow system for you. Drag in the EnOcean switch, double click on it, and we can see all the settings that we need to change. This has already been set, and we need to give it an instance. Now if you don't know what this is, you can go back to the Diagnostics tab, go down to the EnOcean devices, click on View Objects, and you will see here that we have an instance ID just here. Now we can copy that, go back to the flows, and paste it in place. Now the switch we're going to be using for this demo is the 2-button vertical, and these have already been set. If you want to give it a name, you can do. And once you're done, click here. Now, for the first deployment, I'd suggest you give it a full deploy. Don't worry about that. Now, if I click the switch, this should be working. There we go. So that's on and that's off. The next thing we need to do is drag in a Mobius to Bluemix node and double click. Now we don't know the settings for this yet. So click on here, and this is the information that we're going to be looking for. What we now need to do is go to a new tab and go to the IBM Bluemix account by typing that into the address bar here. Now the first thing we need to do is create a new space. If you click at the top here and click on create a space. I'm going to call this MobiusFlow EnOcean demo and click on create. If we now click on explore our offerings, this will then list everything that's available to us. Now for this example, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to set up an Internet of Things platform starter. I'm going to give it a unique ID. And I'm going to make sure that all this information is correct. Scroll further down and click on Internet of Things platform. Once you've done that, you can click on create. This might take some time, so you have to be patient. Once this has been set up, you'll see just here that it gives you a status of when it's starting or it's stopped. The next thing we need to do is to go on this menu icon on the top left and go down to dashboard. You should see that this will be running. Now click on the Internet of Things service here. And let's get started and click on launch. But to start with, what I'd like you to do is click on devices and click on add device. Now first thing we need to do is create a device type and create a gateway type. Now it's important for this demonstration that it's called Mobius underscored node, and it is case sensitive. Give it a description and click on next. Don't worry about this part for now. Again, click on next, next, and create. What we then need to do is create a new device using this option here and click on next. Now we need to give it a device ID, and for this example it's that. Click on next, next. Now you need to give it a authentication token, and I'm going to use MobiusFlow and click on next. This is the information that we're going to use, and click on Add. And this information we can now put into the node within MobiusFlow. So we can just copy that, go over to the MobiusFlow tab, and we can start here. And the authentication token which you created earlier. There, click on Add. Now, because we're using EnOcean devices, we already know that we want to be using the hub ID and anything that's EnOcean related, and in this instance it's going to be using the hashtag after the hub ID. Once you're done, click here, click on Deploy, and we should be good to go. If I just click on the switch now, we can see everything's changing. Happy with that? Right, go back to your Bluemix tab, close that. We can see that it's connected, we can see the device ID, and we can see a few other bits of information. What we now want to do is go up to the top here, click on Boards, and create a new board. You see that no cards are currently listed within that board. If you click on that, we can now create a card. Now for this one, I just want to see all the device properties, so do that by clicking here. And click on this one here, as that was the device that we put in earlier. Click on Next, change the size of the card. Click on Next, change the color scheme if you like, and click on Submit. Now this should bring up all the device properties for that switch. Now if I click a switch now, I can switch it on, and I can switch it off. We'll just zoom in on that bit. And there we go.